I want to give all the praise and all the glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rikakudash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. Also, want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing this truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. All right. Shalom to the elect. So today, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be in Proverbs 7 through the Spirit. And this is a twofold chapter because it's talking about actual woman and also a woman representing false doctrines, okay? Like a strange woman would be a strange doctrine or a false doctrine. Because I've told you in the past, women and wine in the scriptures, in certain contexts, certain verses, it's referring to false doctrines, okay, and philosophies. So let's get it in Proverbs 7. It says, "My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee." Meaning, we're supposed to consider the commandments. We're supposed to consider the law, right? We don't just throw it out the window because modern Christianity tells you that you don't need to keep the law of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. They say you're saved under grace. You know, they say you're saved under the blood of Yahweh Shai. Well, they say Jesus, but we hate saying Jesus over here at Great Millstone. So, Yahweh Shai is the true name of the Messiah, of the Son of Yahweh. All right. But the commandments are in full effect, you see. So we gotta, like I say here, my son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. All right. I mean, we're supposed to have reverence. We're supposed to have respect. We're supposed to keep the law to the best of our ability. Matthew 5:17, it says, this is Yahweh Shai speaking, "Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not to come to destroy, but to fulfill." All right, so the law is not destroyed. The law is still in effect. If you're an Israelite, if you're a so-called Black, Latino, and Native American, you should have respect, and it should be in your conscience. What I'm speaking on is the law. It should be in your conscience, right? You should feel guilty if you're not keeping the Sabbath. If you should feel guilty if you're breaking the law of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, Proverbs 7 and verse 2. "Keep my commandments and live in my law as the apple of thine eye." All right. So the laws of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai give us life. All right. The laws and the statutes and commandments and the understanding of this truth, this is the breath of life that's coming into us. That's giving us hope. You see? Verse 3. And again, keep them as the apple of the eye, meaning you're supposed to cherish them. Look, this is supposed to be, the apple of your eye. So when you look up, I just looked up the phrase, the apple of my eye, or apple of the eye meaning, and this is what it says, and this is a good explanation. It says, meaning someone whom you cherish above all others. All right? So we're supposed to cherish the laws and the statutes and the commandments and the judgments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai above all others, meaning above all other what? Above all other philosophies, above all other doctrines. There's only one truth, and we're supposed to keep this truth of the Holy Bible above all others. All right? Verse 4. "Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman. See? So we should desire wisdom. We should, just like we desire a woman, a beautiful woman, that's how we should desire wisdom. All right. Understanding is the kinswoman. It's like somebody, a woman of your kinswoman. It would be like one of the women of your family. You wouldn't want nothing done wrong to a woman in your family, right? So that's how the understanding is likened unto. All right, verse 5. That they may keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with her words. All right. And again, it's twofold. You can have strange women, but you just always have to put this truth first. You see? Because there's men who are weakened by women. They get into a relationship with a woman if she's a heathen, or if she's not under the truth. She doesn't believe in the truth, and that's okay. You can still be with her. You can still fuck with her, but the thing is you can't fuck with her to the point where it's pulling you away from this truth, from this woman, right? Because remember, the wisdom is likened unto a woman, Sophia, right? So if you have a woman, a strange woman, she's pulling you from Sophia, which when I say Sophia, I'm referring to the wisdom in the scripture. All right. So if she's pulling you from the truth, she's pulling you away from Sophia, then that's an issue with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Right? Verse 5. That they may keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with her words. All right, because just like these strange women, what was Solomon's downfall? Right, it wasn't that he was dealing with strange women; it was that they influenced him in his old age. He started building up altars for them. He started building tabernacles and temples and sacrificing unto their gods. So you see, this is what it's talking about. Not so much a different woman aside from your wife, right? Because the scriptures tells us we can have multiple wives, right? But when it comes to doctrines, you're supposed to only have one doctrine, one woman, one Sophia. All right, let's go to the blue letter real quick. Let me see. I don't know if I have it on this phone. Bear with me. I'm gonna look it up right here on the Google. But I wanna, let's see. Oops. So we look up the blue letter. And I'm going to type in the word wisdom. Here we go in the Greek. It's the Greek G4678, right? Let's listen to it.
Strong's G4678, Sophia.
All right, so that's how you say wisdom in Greek, Sophia. All right, and Sophia is a woman's name. So, but it means wisdom. You see. So that was the point there. Just wanted to bring that out. So remember, Sophia should be the apple of our eye. The wisdom of this Bible should be the apple above our eye, which is something that we cherish above all others. We, brothers in this truth, cherish the Sophia, you see. Verse 5. They that keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with her words, right? Because these doctrines, these other philosophies, they can flatter with words, right? Literally. You have multiple, Bibles where they tweak the words, and even the KJV that we use, it's not transliterated perfect 100% from the original Hebrew, right? There's certain words that you have in Hebrew that you don't have in English, or vice versa. So it's something that we have to acknowledge. You see, so these other doctrines, these other philosophies, they can be flattering with words, but men who are in the truth, and really the elect, won't be deceived. All right, like, it tells you that in Matthew. Let's get that real quick. Matthew 24. I'm not sure exactly where it's at. Let me find it real quick. The elect will not be deceived, all right? It's right here, Matthew 24 and 24. For there shall arise false Hamashiachs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, and so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. All right, so if it was possible, they'd be able to deceive the elect, but it's not possible to deceive the elect. The only people that are deceivable or can be tricked or beguiled or deceived are the heathen and the 2/3. The elect, we won't be deceived. This is a sign. If this is a sign of who we are, because we're not deceived. All right, Proverbs 7 and verse 6. For at the window of my house I looked through my casement, and beheld among the simple ones, I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding. See, simple one, meaning you don't understand this truth, meaning you're like a leaf in the wind. Wherever the wind blows you, that's where you go. That's a simple way to be. Because when you're in this truth, you have foundation, right? You have you're steadfast, meaning you're non-wavering, right? So simple would be the opposite of steadfast, right? Steadfast means you're firmly rooted, right? It says, I beheld the simple ones, right? Meaning a man who's vulnerable. He's not of the elect. He gets taken advantage of by the philosophies, or in this case, a woman, right? Let's read it. Verse 8, passing through the street near her corner, and he went the way to her house, right? And remember, it's talking about a woman, but also twofold: philosophies, doctrines, right? So meaning you could look at this as a man going into another church that is not under the tabernacle of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? You're going into the Catholic Church, you're going into the modern church, modern Christianity, you're going into the mosque, the mosque of Islam, Think of it in that context, right? Let's read it. Again, passing through the street, verse 8, passing through the street near her corner, and he went the way to her house. In the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night, right? Meaning while nobody's watching, right? Like, it'd be like if a brother from GMS was like, he met a woman and he's like, all right, I'm going to go to the mosque and worship with you at the mosque this weekend, right? He doesn't want to do it in the daylight, right? Because he'll be seen. But instead, he wants to go, he'll do it in the darkness, in the dark night, in the black and dark night, like it says, right? 9, in the twilight and in the evening, in the black and dark night, and behold, there met him a woman with an attire of an harlot and a subtle heart, right? So she's there waiting for him, right? she's the attire of a harlot, which means that she was wearing clothes like a whore, right? Meaning she had some skimpy ass skirt on, showing half of her ass, tight ass skirt, titties flopping out. Everything's revealed, right? Nothing is left to the imagination, right? Let me read it again. And behold, there met him a woman with an attire of an harlot and subtle of heart. So subtlety means like cunning or deceptive. Or she's ready to deceive him, right? Just like these truths, just like these doctrines. And we tell you all the time that you're a spiritual whore when you go off into these other churches, right? And you go in these other philosophies and doctrines, calling on names that are not Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You're being a whore if you're an Israelite. Verse 11. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house, right? So this could be one of our women, right? But she's not in the truth. But she's a Babylonian woman, she lives her life as a Babylonian, right? Meaning she fucks all kinds of dudes. She's out there, right? She don't listen. She don't answer to no man. She doesn't do anything righteous in the sight of Yahweh Bashem Yoshai, but instead she's grown up in captivity in Babylon, America, and she's accustomed to the ways here of this wicked place, right? And again, also pertaining to a false church, false tabernacle, right? A place that's not teaching the truth. When we read this, we got to look at it twofold, okay? And subtle of heart, meaning she's ready to deceive you. These churches, they teach our people with subtlety. Watch, let me get this. What the hell? I looked it up in my... That's Satan. Anyway, I was looking up some subtlety on my computer, and it was giving me the definition in German or some other language. But anyway, subtle, it means cunning, crafty, deceptive. You see, deceitful. That's what these churches are. So again, this chapter, it's likened unto a woman and also the false doctrines, false philosophies. Verse 12. Now is she without, now in. And it says right on verse 11, her feet abide not in her house. Meaning she's not, the house, we always tell you, the house of Israel, the house of Jacob. You see, these women in America, they don't abide, their feet are not abiding in the house of Israel, right? Their mindset is toward what they've been taught here in Babylon, right? They're not going to tell you, oh, I shouldn't be wearing yoga pants. No, they're going to wear yoga pants because why? They're Babylonians. These women they're Babylonians. They're going to wear those pants, which I'm talking about yoga pants, which shows their whole camel toe and everything. Leave nothing to the imagination, like I spoke earlier, right? So she doesn't abide in the house of Yahweh Bashem Yoshai. Her mindset is in the house of the Babylonian American captivity. And you can't tell these women in America that they're wrong for doing the things they do because they're stuck on that. You can't tell them righteousness because they're going to repay your righteousness for wickedness. You see, they're gonna be your enemy, like the scriptures tells us. She's our enemy. Let's see. Let me see. I'm gonna look for the verse in me see here. Bear with me. It's part of the curses that our women are our enemies, you see. Because your woman, she doesn't respect you. She respects the system. She respects Esau Edom, the so-called white man's system. If he says you can wear yoga pants, she's going to believe him. She ain't going to believe you when you tell her that she shouldn't be wearing yoga pants, or she shouldn't be wearing clothes that pertain to a man. You know, they've been brought up in slavery. They've been enslaved, and their mind has been governed by the devil, basically. That's where they get their values, right? It's going to catch up to them, but you know, this thing's got to run its full course, and these women got to become wicked as hell, which they are, and they have been. And again, the church too. You know, these churches, wicked as hell because they're not teaching the truth. Well, I'm gonna move on because I can't find it. It might be in Genesis 3. Let me check and see if it's in Genesis 3. All right, I'm just trying to find a scripture, brothers. So bear with me. Well, scratch that. I can't find it. So it's the Spirit is not bringing it out. But let me go to back to Proverbs in 7, and it says in verse 12, now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait in every corner. All right, because these churches, they're on every corner, ready to devour our people with their strange philosophy. Just like these women. Where is a whore found? She's found on the corner, right? Same thing. Verse 13, so she caught him and kissed him, and with an impudent face said unto him. That word impudent, this is what it means. It means not showing due respect for another person, all right? Audacious, brazen, shameless, right? Because these women and these churches are both impudent, which is shameless, or they have the audacity to teach our people lies. See? So it says, she caught him and kissed him with an impudent face, said unto him, verse 14, I have peace offerings with me. This day have I prayed my vows, right? So they're deceptive. She's acting like she's speaking righteously, but in reality, you know, her way, if you're a man and you follow her, or you follow in these other doctrines and these philosophies, her way leads to death. Watch, let's get that real quick. Let me see. Well, let me see. Let me keep reading. Verse 15, therefore came I forth to meet thee, diligently to seek thy face, and I have found thee. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry and carved works with the fine linen of Egypt. And remember, this is spiritual Egypt. So again, it's dealing with a woman and also these churches. You go into some of these churches and they look super nice on the inside. They decorated. They got all the like if you look, for example, in the Catholic Church, they got the stained glass windows and stuff. People like that kind of stuff. It's appealing to the eye, right? But does that mean they have the truth? Hell no, right? So, but on the outside, it looks like it's something special, right? But when you come into this truth, hey, you can discern, meaning you can recognize that those are wicked, basically the synagogues of Satan. And also, it's like an adulterous woman, right? A woman who has a husband, but yet she's trying to fuck another man. You see, same thing. Verse 17, I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Also, she got the scents going. She got it, decked out, ready to go. Ready to commit adultery. And again, when you're in these false religions, you're committing adultery against the Most High. So you understand the parable here between the woman and the church, these false doctrines. They both have a strong influence on men, do they not? Women and false philosophies or strong drink, wine. Verse 18. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves. Right? That's that abomination. You're getting devoured if you're in a false church or you're in a church where they're not teaching the truth. You might think you're doing good, but in reality, you're being a spiritual whore, right? Verse 19, for the good man is not at home. He is gone on a long journey. See? And who's that good man? That good man is Yahweh Shai, right? If it's dealing with the church, it's Yahweh Shai. If it's dealing with an actual woman, it's her husband, right? So in this parable, it's telling you the woman is like, hey, the husband or the good man is gone. But when you look at it on the side, because I said it's a twofold chapter. When you look at it the side of the doctrines or philosophies, it's dealing with Yahweh Shai. Because Yahweh Shai, he was taken up, but guess what? We know he's coming back with great power and great glory to deliver us, along with the angels, okay? Which are the so-called UFOs, the chariots of Israel. Proverbs 7:20, he hath taken a bag of money with him and will come home at the day appointed. All right, does that sound familiar? Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is coming on an appointed day, right? Only Yahweh Bashem, only Yahweh knows the day and the hour, right? But in this case, in this chapter, it's the woman being a whore, and she's saying, my husband's not home. He's gone. He's not going to come till this day, so we have time to commit adultery, basically what she's saying, right? She got her bed ready. She got her house ready. She was on the street corner, all while her husband was, out of town or on a long journey. And just like the same thing with Yahweh Shai, we're supposed to be faithful to Yahweh Shai while he's gone. We can't be going off in other philosophies and other doctrines, committing that spiritual fornication, that spiritual adultery. Verse 21, with her much fair speech she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips she forced him. So just like these churches, right, they're able to deceive a lot of people, but they can't deceive the elect like we read. But they're able to deceive a lot of our people, and you have the proof is in the pudding. You have our people filling up those Catholic churches. You have our people filling up the Baptist church, the modern Christian church, you see? And it says with much fair speech, meaning with a lot of talking and a lot of lying, they've deceived our people. To the point where our people get mad when we teach them the truth. They get mad at us. All right. Verse 22. He goeth after her straightway, as an ox goeth to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks. See? So if you're in these false doctrines, false philosophies, if you're not exalting and praising and worshiping Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, then you're like an ox going to the slaughter. Because an ox, when he's led to the slaughter, he doesn't know where he's going. Same thing with you Christians and you Catholics. I always like to say modern Christians because we are Christians, but the modern Christianity is where our people go off. So, he goeth after her straightway, meaning that's without hesitation. That word straightway means you drop everything you were doing and you go follow something. And in this case, it's a simple man, meaning really a simple Israelite who just drops what he's doing just to go fuck this chick. Or, like I say, twofold. A simple Israelite who drops what they're doing just to go serve fucking Jesus Christ. You see? You see the parable? Is it clear to you? Does it make sense? Are you understanding what I'm saying? That's what it is. He goeth after her straightway, as an ox goeth to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till the dart strike through his liver, as a bird hasteth to the snare, and knoweth not that it is for his life. See, till the last moment, all of a sudden you get put to death, and either because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai put some judgment on you, or if he has well, I'm not gonna say mercy, but if he lets you live till the last day and you're still involved with that false doctrine, he's gonna put you to death for that, man. If you're on the last day, when Yahushua comes back and you're calling on Jesus, what do you think is gonna happen to you? You think you're gonna be saved, or you think a dart is gonna strike you through your liver, like this verse says? Or you think you're going to get burned up in nuclear fire? Because that's what the prophecy deals with. Verse 24. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye sons, and attend to the words of my mouth. All right, so we're saying listen now. Listen to us now while you have time, while you can still get right. And we know that the elect are going to hearken and take heed to this truth, take heed to the word. But we know that 2/3, they're just going to disregard our message, disregard our report, and they're going to be led to that slaughter. The great slaughter of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Let's get a quick verse in Isaiah 66:16. It says, for by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh. The plead means judge. And the slain of Yahweh shall be many. See? So, let's go back to Proverbs 7:25. It says, let not thine heart decline to her ways, go not astray in her paths. And your heart is your mind. So I'm telling you, also with this false woman, like if she's married and she's an adulteress, you don't want to be taken away by her words, right? Same thing with the churches, these philosophies. You don't want to be, let me read it again. Let not thine heart or the mind decline to her ways, go not astray in her paths. Because when you're in all these false churches teaching you lies, what do you think it's doing? It's leading you astray in her paths, like it says here. You see, all these churches set up in Babylon, America, they can't give you the truth. The truth doesn't dwell with them. They're leading you astray. Those that lead, they that lead thee have caused you to err, as it is written. Right? Let's get that real quick. It's either in Ezekiel or is either Ezekiel or Isaiah. Yeah, it's Isaiah. Go to Isaiah 9 and 16. Because our people are in all these wicked churches, right? Learning wicked doctrines, learning wicked philosophies. Isaiah 9 and 16, it says, "For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed." See? So you're led astray when you go to these churches, man. They don't have the truth. But only the elect can see it. All right? The elect are the ones who won't be deceived. You simple ones, like it said earlier in the chapter, the simple ones, you're going to be led right to the slaughter like an ox, because an ox doesn't know where he's going when he's about to get slaughtered. And that's the Lord compares you to a dumbass ox, right? Who doesn't know where you're going. You don't know, you don't realize you're going to be destroyed for that wickedness. Verse 26, "For she hath cast down many wounded, yeah, many strong men have been slain by her." All right, talking about that wicked woman, that wicked adulterous woman, right? Because the Lord, you got to remember, when you, in the ancient world, and also when we get our kingdom, you know, if you go with another man's wife, you're going to, the penalty is going to be the death penalty, and we're going to enforce that thing. So you're going to be led to destruction, led to death, if you're over there touching another man's wife. All right, and the same thing with the doctrines. If you're in a doctrine that doesn't pertain to the truth of the Bible, guess what? You're going to be led to the death. You're being led to the slaughter, unknowingly, like a dumb ox. All right. So you may not see it, but the men of the elect, the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, we can see it clear as day. Your end is, we know your end. You see, as that is written. Let me get that. Yeah, this is it. Psalm 73 and 17. I'll start at 15, 73 and 15, Psalm. It says, "If I say I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children," or thy sons, right? So we know we're going to offend a lot of our own people when we teach this truth, because they're stuck on stupid. They're stuck in a Catholic mindset. They're stuck in a modern Christian mindset. They're stuck in Jehovah's wickedness mindset. You see, they got all these different philosophies polluting their mind. So let me read it again. "If I say I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children." Yeah, because we know when we teach this truth, we're going to offend the Israelites. We're going to offend you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Then verse 16, "When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me." So when we came into the truth, because naturally Israelites are compassionate, we felt like, oh man, I want to share this truth with all my friends who are blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. I want to teach them the truth, and they're going to love the truth, and they're going to love me for teaching them the truth. But that's not true. The majority of our own people reject this knowledge, and they end up getting offended and getting mad at us, and that's okay. Because when you're a babe in the truth, when you're brand new in the truth, you think all your brothers and sisters are going to believe it and understand it the way you did. But then you realize that not everybody's of the elect. Okay? So it says in verse 17, let me read 16 again. When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me, right? Because you knew that when you start to realize in this truth that everyone is not going to receive it, it's painful, and it's going to be a growing process. You know that a lot of people are going to reject it, and it's painful at first. You're like, man, I thought everybody was going to accept this, right? It's a disappointment, right? Then you start to grow in the truth, and you realize, like I say, not everybody's of the elect. So then you're like, okay, well, I can deal with that. Now I know what it is, right? But in the beginning, you don't know. In the beginning, you want to share it with everybody, right? And then it says in verse 17, until I went into the sanctuary of Yahweh, of the Most High, then understood I their end, right? Until we came into this true church, into the sanctuary of the Most High, right, which is the truth. It says, then I understood their end. So after that, after we get the real knowledge, the real understanding on this wisdom, then we're like, okay, it's supposed to be this way. I understand what their end is. They're like the ox led to the slaughter. All right, and now when you know that, you know, if you're a man of the Lord, you're going to be able to accept that, right? You're going to be like, okay, well, the Lord said that our people were going to reject His knowledge. So then you're okay with it because you understand it. But at first, you're like, oh, you feel bad, you feel sad. Some brothers even fall out of the truth because they're so offended by that. You know, they don't want to lose all their friends, or they don't want to offend all their friends and their people and their family. And if that's you, if you follow the truth because you can't handle the truth, that meaning you can't handle knowing that all of our people are not going to receive this truth, then really you're not of the truth either, because an elect man is going to be able to endure that. He's going to be able to deal with that and say, all right, I'll see you on the other side. All right, we could be cool on the other side. You ain't going to receive the truth on this side. I'll receive, I'll be cool with you after the destruction, when you're brought back into the kingdom, born into the kingdom. But first you're going to die like that ox led to the slaughter, right? Proverbs 7:27, last verse. It says, her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. You see? So if you're in a false doctrine, a false philosophy, guess where your end is? Remember, we just read it, because I knew their end. Because we know your end. The men of the Lord, the prophets of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, we know your end. We know what the end is going to be like for you. I just read it. You're going to be destroyed. You're going to be, slaughtered. All right? And her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. And hell, when you go into that word hell, it's Gehenna, which means the grave. Right? So you're literally, you're going into the grave. And again, twofold. Whether you're in a false philosophy or you're in another man's wife. Both of these are these metaphor for a strange woman, and this strange woman is also the strange church, the strange doctrine, the strange philosophy. All right? So I'm going to close out on that. I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all the praise and all the glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakwadash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing this truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the elect.